All right, we back. Fresh episode of Talking Game. I'm your host, Anthony LT King, Yellow Tape King, Tony, whatever you call me. Let me know what I was on when you was fucking with me. I told you I got it. I got the intro, and we are here with a special episode with Ryan. What's up, Ryan? How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good. That's good. Hold on one second. I gotta give the rundown. We got Ryan here, Michigan grad,
hmm
former seasonal marketing assistant for the Detroit Tigers,
hmm
baseball draft operations fellow for the Minnesota Twins,
hmm
um, baseball and barista series, which is pretty dope. Showing everybody. I won't even just make it about women. Showing everybody that baseball is not hard and it's easy to understand. Another great series that you can find on her TikTok. Welcome to Talking Game.
Thank
Welcome.
you. That was such a nice intro.
Yeah. I'm trying to get better with this. I'm trying to get better with this every step of the way. So yeah, man, that is good. That is good. So let's just get right to it. What got you into baseball?
My dad.
Your dad, okay.
My
Was
dad. Um, Baseball was his favorite sport. I mean, he played all the sports, but baseball was his favorite sport.
okay.
Um, he had three girls, so we all had no choice but to play softball. Um, Let him tell it. I used to go back and forth with him when I was real little about not letting me play actual baseball, but that's neither here nor there. He got me into it, just loving baseball as a fan. But it wasn't until maybe I'll say maybe my sophomore year of college when I realized that like I could actually do something in the baseball industry as a career, like having a
Okay.
job there. I interned with the Tigers actually when I was in high school. They had a partnership with my high school.
Nice.
And even then, I still, I got a nice taste of it. It was really cool, but it wasn't quite still. I was going to be a lawyer, so I was still kind of in my law mindset. And then I got to college, and I was like, probably don't want to do law anymore. Just started exploring different things. Got to intern with the University of Michigan Athletics Department, working in communications and PR. So I did that all 4 years, and then I was like, okay, I could really do this. This is something that's not only interesting to me, but it has so many different aspects that I just didn't know existed. Like I think sports fans like to think that it's just the people who are on the field. It's just
Yeah.
the people who, it's just the coaches and the trainers, and yeah, there's the people in the front office, but there's so many other things happening behind the scenes. It kind of just bursted my world open a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I actually got to intern at the commissioner's office.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that was also super eye opening. So my dad got me into it, but it was just like little opportunities I had kind of starting in senior year of high school. That was like, oh no, like this is a thing that people do and they make careers out of it, and you could definitely do it if that's what you want to do.
That's pretty dope. Softball. What position you playing in softball?
Third base.
Hot corner.
hmm
Hot corner. Okay. So hey, you ready when stuff comes at you fast? Life comes at you fast.
It's always, always, always.
Always, always. And you played in college?
I didn't play in college.
You didn't
Nope.
play in college.
Nope.
Okay.
Because I wanted to
Um,
be in Michigan, and I that was my goal was getting into Michigan, and I really didn't want to play for Carol Hutchins. So that's a different story. But anyway,
okay. All
yeah.
right. Well,
But no, just I was athletic, but I was really focused on my academics. So I was like, academic scholarship, that's what I'm doing, that's my path, and I was fine with it. Both of my sisters played. I We all went to Michigan. My oldest sister actually ran track at Michigan, and then my middle sister ended up transferring to Michigan, but she played at Concordia University in Ann Arbor for softball. So I was the only one who ended up not actually playing
yeah,
collegiately, but I'm the only one who's like doing sports stuff now. So I'm like, that's okay.
that's fine. You're continuing the journey. You're continuing the journey. Um, I get the interning, but even with you interning and starting, did you know in that moment that you wanted to get into the business, or at what point did you realize like I want to be in the business of baseball?
I think I realized it somewhere between 2021 and 2022. And
Okay.
2022 was that year. I was that summer. I interned at the commissioner's office. I was in New York. I was living by myself, but I was like, I could really do this. Like, I could get used to this sort of work. So I think I had made up my mind somewhere around there.
Um, I don't want to jump ahead. So it was Detroit and then the commissioner office, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So working for the commissioner's office, that was clearly more league wide. Um, Jumping ahead, kind of moving around. I do see that you want to be a GM.
Hmm.
Did anything spark that made you want to be like part of like the league itself, like the MLB, like rules changes, or maybe you could be the person that stopped this lockout that might be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and maybe, for me, I wasn't even when I got the internship, I wasn't even thinking club versus league. I was thinking I want to be in baseball. I got this opportunity to do it. This internship sounded really cool. I'm just going to do it.
yeah,
Um, but I think back to years ago. I think it was 20. I want to say it was like 2014, maybe. Maybe I was like 13 or something. And
okay,
the Tigers traded Austin Jackson live in the game. It was like the seventh inning,
yeah,
and
that's terrible.
I'm sitting in my living room and I'm watching this, and I'm like, what? What's I'm like, who did that? I'm like, who was in charge of this and why did this happen? And that was a really pivotal moment for me because it kind of changed my perspective as just like being a young Tigers fan and a young baseball fan
Yeah,
and realizing like there's more that's happening than just what's on the field, that there's business decisions that have to be made. And I started kind of thinking about that a little bit slowly but surely, like, what are these business people doing behind the scenes, and why did y'all just take my favorite player out the game, and why are y'all trading him, and y'all shouldn't have done that, and I can make better decisions than y'all. And when I said I could do their job better than them, that's when I was like, okay, maybe something is there. But it didn't really start to make sense for me until years later. But it stemmed from me feeling like I could run a team better than these other people who was currently doing it.
that's for one, that's crazy because that just happened with the Yankees this year.
I know.
In the
I think
middle,
it's
in the,
happening more actually in the past couple of years. Like, I have friends who are not baseball fans who'd be like, "Why is that like legal?" And I'm like, I'm like, let's don't even get me started about it because when I tell you that like scarred like 13-year-old me, I was like, there's no way they should be allowed to do that. But because I've been in it for a little bit now, I get it. But it's still, from a fan perspective, it's still kind of like, dang, that's crazy.
well, that was going to be my next question. Is like now that you're like in it and you see it, you realize, and that's going to be because I look, I'm calling it now. You will be a GM. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the kind of decisions you're going to have to make, right? Like it's probably going to be some people that you get to know personally, and you're going to be like,
Yeah.
the business of it.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
who's your favorite Tiger of all time?
um, People ask me this question all the time. I do not have an answer. And the reason I don't have an answer is because, okay, you could say the simple answer. You can say Miguel Cabrera.
I was hoping you say Miggy. You got Verlander.
Biggie, you can say JV, like you can say these guys,
You
and
had
those,
Scherzer.
and I love Max Scherzer. I love Max Scherzer. Don't get me wrong,
All
love
right.
him down. But I think for so long, okay, well, there's two parts to this answer. One, when I was younger, and I was constantly going to games, my favorite player was Ramon Santiago.
Really?
For no baseball reason at all. The way that the announcer called his name when he came up to bat was like the coolest sound to me ever in the world. So every time I went to a game, I was hoping that he was in the lineup so I could just hear that. Because the atmosphere at Comerica Park was just like unlike anything else I've experienced before when I was that young. So I was like, that was such a highlight to me going to those games and hearing his name like that. So that's why he was my favorite Tiger for literally no other reason than just I thought he had the coolest name. But also, I think that so much of my fanship of the game just lives in my love for the team and for the city. So if you're a great
Mm,
player and you're exciting to watch and you're good at your job
Yeah.
and you are adding to my experience as a fan, as someone who's from Detroit, and you're making that experience good and positive for me, I like you. So yeah, I could say Miggy, I could say JV, I could say Shurs, who I do love, and maybe I mean, also I loved David Price when we had him. Loved Prince Fielder.
Y'all did have David Price.
Yeah, that's who we traded Austin Jackson for. And
That
I was mad in the moment. I was happy, I was happy later on. But like these are guys who, when I think back to great memories of Comerica Park and being a Tigers fan, they're a part of it. So that's why I'm like, I don't really have like a favorite Tiger. And then people
yeah.
are like, whenever I tell them, they're like, well, no, it's not Tiago.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Like,
That's a guess that you have a minute before somebody get that one.
it exactly. That's when people are like, people look at me, they're like, "Are you even a real fan?" But it's like, but you got to be if your
You
name
gotta
is
be.
and not one of these. And so it's kind of a weird, dichotomy that we got going on. But it's when I think back to who's my favorite Tiger, it always just brings me back to who impacted me and my love for this team in this game. And so I can name off a bunch of people. And then I got to see Mickey's final game. I was working that day, and it brought me to tears. I have literally pictures and videos of me crying in that moment, and I actually called that last play. I was like,
Really?
put him at first. And that last, he's going to get a ball hit to him. Literally, I'm sitting in the press box with my bosses. I'm like, they're about to play him at first, aren't they? And they're looking at me like, girl, I'm not thinking about nothing about that. Like, this is like, it's a lot going on right now. And they put him at first and they hit that ball to him. And they looked at me, they were like, and I'm like, it has to happen for guys like that.
Yeah.
Like those poetic moments, it has to happen for you like that. So, I mean, yeah, Miggy, Shurs, JV, David Price, Austin Jackson, Ramon Santiago, like those are all my guys.
No doubt. The
Yeah,
list goes on.
the
Yeah.
list is on.
I even had a Curtis Granderson run.
How can I forget Curtis? I've met
See?
Curtis Anderson so many times. He is the nicest man ever. He was actually my sister's tiger. Like she met him when I was working there a couple years ago, and she bawled her eyes out like she was sobbing. She was like, "Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed." And he was like, "No, you're fine. Like it's just, he was just so cool. Yes, love Curtis. Don't know how I forgot about Curtis, but yeah,
Yeah, man. I'm a huge Curtis Granderson fan.
I mean, just the coolest guy.
Yeah, man. He probably could have won the MVP with the Yankees that year. But
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'm just saying. Just saying. Just
No,
saying.
I feel you. I feel you. I wouldn't have been there.
Well, you talk about moments, and
Mm.
we got to talk about moments, right? You've had plenty of moments. You've worked there. You've been there as a kid, as a fan. What is your favorite moment in Comerica Park as a Tigers fan?
Miggy's retirement is up there. Miggy's retirement is up there. And not even just the game, but being a part of. So I was in marketing, and we did that card stunt where under everyone's seat you've got like a card, and you hold it up at the same time, and then it shows whatever the words or images we did
Okay.
for him. And I was there until after midnight. That night before at the ballpark, going over every seat, putting that card under there, and I kind of took a step back, and I was like, this is insane that I'm about to be a part of something so big in this ballpark and not experiencing it necessarily for myself, but being the reason why other people get to experience it.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot to me because I've had so many great moments where I was just like, oh, this is so cool. Whether it be like, whether, I mean, it'd be just like sitting close to the dugout and they're waving at me, or
Yeah.
getting my favorite snack and just like walking through the concourse because those roasted almonds are delicious. I love to do that and just like walk through the concourse because I think the ballpark is absolutely beautiful. And so I'm a little details person, so like the little things mean the most to me. So any little moment that just kind of makes me feel like, yeah,
You can just soak it up.
just soak it in. So, but that card stunt for Miggy's final game definitely meant a lot to me because I know what those special moments feel like. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, these people don't experience something really, really cool. And I'm a part of that. So I love that.
And ultimately you're a fan, right?
Exactly.
So like you get to live the moment
Yeah.
as a fan, but you get to be behind the scenes. Like
Yeah.
you're the Wizard of Oz. You're behind the curtain.
I am. Yeah, and that's what it felt like. No, that's literally what it felt like. I mean, we went out to the outfield and just kind of looked out, and I was like, "Yo, this is." I'm like, anybody else emotional? You know what I'm saying? And it's like everyone who works in the front office isn't maybe a baseball fan. Like you're a Tigers fan, of course, because they sign your checks at the end of the day. But
Yeah,
like, you might not always be a baseball fan. You might not feel so romantic and nostalgic about the game the way that other people do, like me. And
yeah,
I'm like, y'all, this is really freaking cool. Like this is more than just, oh, I work here, I go to the office. This is me being a part of something that I felt like was way bigger than myself because it was. And it was just really cool.
yeah. And hey, you've been rocking that navy blue hat since, right? So it's definitely different because I'm sure people you work with probably wasn't even from Detroit, right? People who come from different places.
Yeah, a lot of them. And so that was also part of the job. It was funny because there was six, I think, seasonal assistants who all like worked together like really closely. And dare I say, three and a half of us, but about four of us were like black and from like, either from the city or close to the city. And they'll be asking us stuff like, okay, do y'all think that this would be cool if we get so and so, if we get, this person throughout the first pitch, or what's something that people in the city like? And I'd be like, y'all been working here for how long? Like sometimes you gotta kind of remind yourself that this is the real world now. Everyone who works here is not always from here. And I
Yeah.
think that was a lesson for me too, because
But I think part of what you were expecting were people to kind of ingratiate themselves with the city.
Mhm. Yeah,
You've been here long enough. Go for it. Walk downtown a little bit. Like drive around. Like you know what I'm saying. Like
exactly. And some of them do, like my boss, she like walked to the ballpark every day. Like she lived that close, but for her, it still wasn't the same experience because she's not from Detroit. You're
yeah,
kind of, I mean, and I use transplant not in a bad way, but like functionally a transplant, and then immersing yourself in the culture of the city, and you don't maybe look like most of the people from the city, it's going to give you a different experience, which isn't bad,
yeah,
but it does make you think sometimes like, wow, if I wasn't here, how would y'all have, gotten to that next point? And
well,
it kind of makes me realize sometimes, like, if there were ever moments where I would be like, why didn't they do that? Or y'all
yeah.
could have done this instead. It leads me back to they probably didn't have
They didn't have a Ryan there.
exactly,
Didn't have a Ryan there, and it's cool that you say that and like you can actually recognize that because I think we all see things in sports and anything in business
Mhm.
where you can say, "Wasn't no black people involved." We could just be honest. We're like, we weren't here. Like it couldn't have been a black person in the room because we've been like, nah, bro, that's
Yeah,
not how it goes.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it was great that they brought you on and the other black people too, you know what I'm saying, to have that
Yeah,
culture involved.
and not even just because to have some black people, but like also we're also just really good at our jobs too,
Yeah.
and have this added bonus. And again, sometimes we'd be looking like, how y'all didn't know that, but like that's the world too. A lot
Yeah.
of people just not gonna know, and that's fine as long as you're building, your business and you have people around you who are gonna do the best thing for whoever your demographic is. So again, I can't say enough positive things about my bosses when I was at the Tigers. They were absolutely amazing. Those are my girls. We still talk to this day. Like they are the sweetest people, honestly. So I have nothing but positive things to say about my time with the Tigers. Truly.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, let's keep talking about the past a little bit, and then we'll get into the Tigers now. You go to the um you go to the MLB office and work there. What did you do at the MLB office?
I was a transactions intern, so anytime any team did something different to their roster, I was the one who was checking it. Are y'all over the pitching limit? Y'all can only have 12 pitchers. You have 13. Now we got to go call you and be like, so what are y'all doing over there in St. Louis or whoever it is? Because get it together.
So
Um,
so hold on real quick, Ryan, because
mhm.
I don't want to miss this thought. I gotta get your number because I need a rules expert You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, I might miss some, so I might have to hit you up and be like, hey, like TikTok might not be quick enough. I might need a real, and I might
Are
need an
not
answer
the first
fast.
person to. I'm put it in the chat. You're not the first person to be like, I got a question about the rules. Is this a thing?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's great that you can gotcha. It's great that you can do that. I mean that you've done that. How busy was that though? Because baseball is transactions all the time. People getting called up, sent down, DFA, trades, like all of those things. Like,
yeah. It
how busy was that?
was. I don't know. I think maybe I'm used to busyness, so it didn't always feel super busy to me. But I think a lot of it stemmed from most of it was we don't really care what transactions they're making as long as they're not doing something that they can't do. So it
Gotcha.
would be a case of where I would log onto the system, I would go through all 30 teams, and if everything was in, if all the numbers were in green, then you were good. We don't care if you sent this guy down, if this guy's on the injured list, y'all put him on the development list. As, as long as you did it legally, you're
As
good.
long as the count's right.
As long as the count is right, as long as those numbers are green, you're good. But as soon as those numbers were red, it would be now we got to go give whatever team a call. And for the most part, it was never anything like shady. And my bosses let me know that they were like, it's usually nothing like they're trying to sneak one past us. It'd really just be like they promoted a guy and forgot to demote a guy, and that's usually kind of what it was. So I did that every day. That would probably take me, let's just say, a half hour, to get through that. And then I'd be sitting there like, okay, what am I doing next, y'all? Because again, I think I'd be pretty busy, so they would give me stuff and I would finish it quickly, and they'd be like, okay, let's find something else for you to do. Um,
Yeah.
and that's when I kind of started taking on little parts of other people's roles. So
Gotcha.
I did a lot of social media screening for prospects, for guys in the minor leagues. So if they had any concerning content on
Ah,
any of their social media pages, I
really?
flag them.
See, that is good to know. See, I'm an old man, so I got kids that are in high school, and my son plays baseball. I
Nice.
run his Instagram, so he doesn't even have the password for it. But we talk about that,
Mhm.
like when he does start getting on there, he's not the kind of, thank God, good child. He's not on none of that wild shit. But I made sure to let him know it is somebody's job.
Mhm.
And it is amazing to talk to some kids think you crazy. They think you don't know what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
it's amazing to actually talk to somebody and that's their job.
Mhm.
Make sure you ain't out here trying to be NBA young boy on Instagram. That is that is I'm just saying. I'm just saying. These YNs be cutting up. You know what I'm saying?
And they do.
They be cutting up.
And they do.
Um,
But yeah,
without
I
without being
I did that.
I was about to say, without being messy or petty, how did you see anything like crazy? What like were there any like crazy things that you saw?
I did. For the most part, it was like for the most part it was fine. It would, and this isn't to say like, oh, this is how they are, this is, but it would oftentimes it would be like it'd be a guy in like low A ball or rookie ball, and he'd be one of the international signees. So he'd be from the DR maybe. And it's like that's in Spanish, but the picture attached to it, like I don't know why.
Let me Google translate this real quick, bro.
Right. Tell
Yeah,
me if
okay.
you ever come across like when you're doing the international players, like if it's a page in Spanish, send it over to this other person who's fluent in Spanish, because unfortunately I took French all my life and then I decided to want to work in baseball. And now I have a language that I know that I don't use, whatever. But they were like, send it to this person and they'll flag it or like they'll review it or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know Spanish like that, but that picture was crazy,
Yeah.
And then there would also be some, it'd be like old. I mean, I had to go back. I think they told me 5 to 7 years.
Sheesh.
So I'm like scrolling through Facebook and I'm like, that was kind of misogynistic. Oh, that's, oh, do you hate women? Like it'd be
Yeah.
it'd be bordering on, and mostly it was like I hate women, or women are just kind of like sexual objects. It'd be a
Yeah,
lot of that. And then you'd have your guys from like, I gotta say Ohio, because if you're from Michigan, you hate Ohio. It'd be guys from like the middle of Ohio who,
got you.
you know, they've got their hunting thing, their fishing thing on there. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's Midwest culture. You're a hunter. My dad's a hunter. No biggie.
Got
But,
you.
and it's like, oh, you went to Africa and you killed an elephant.
That's
Ooh,
not it. That's never legal.
it's giving poaching, or
Yeah.
you just like to kill things. It'd be stuff like that that I'm like,
So what does a player get when they like post something inappropriate? I know like the big guys, the major league guys, that's a whole nother issue on itself.
yeah, that's
But if you're like going through high A rookie ball, even up to AAA or whatever,
and did go up to AAA, yeah.
and somebody has something crazy on there, like what comes of that? Do they get like a tap on the shoulder? It's just like a delete situation, or
That's what I assumed. I never went after I, did my research. I did my report. I would send it to whoever, and they would review it. They'd be like, "Yeah, I think that this picture suggests something kind of problematic, so we're gonna let the team know." Whoever the rep is for the team for minor league players, like whoever that was, they would let them know. And my understanding of it was basically, "Hey, bro, clean up like
look,
your digital footprint. Like this is kind of looking crazy."
yeah,
I don't know if anything was ever so egregious to the point where it's like, "You gotta let you go."
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I'm concerned about who you are as a human being. I think for
yeah.
the most part, and again, I don't know the whole story, but I feel like for the most part, it was a tap on the shoulder. "Hey, by the way, we saw you posted this. Not cool. Might want to do something about that." It would be
Yeah.
along those lines.
Ah, that's crazy. Listen,
Yeah.
I was probably like
They did with the interns too. They told
seven.
me, they were like, we go through everyone's, social media.
Ah, well,
I'm like, good thing I'm private.
listen, I really like Facebook and stuff really became like a thing when I was like 17, 18. I'm glad I'm not in any industry where people have to go 5 to 7 years back on my social media. Probably wouldn't have those jobs. I'm just saying. it was it was a little ignorant. I'm just saying, man. It was hey,
Yes. Oh boy.
having my fun, man. But so you go from the league office to Minnesota?
I go from the league office back to the Tigers. After I graduated, I worked for the Tigers. And then
Okay.
2024 season, I was in Minnesota.
Where was it the same job for the Tigers?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They did some restructuring. So, like when I was an intern, I was marketing and creative services. So I worked under the graphic designer. And at the time, there was one graphic designer. Like it was
Okay.
just her. Um, and I was like doing Photoshop, and I was like organizing photos and picking photos, like doing all of that stuff. And then once I graduated, again, the department looked a little bit different. And actually, my boss when I was there when I graduated was just like a coordinator or manager at the time when I was in
Okay.
high school. But now she was like the big boss, and I was like, period girl, we love that. And she kind of, she remembered me. She remembered how I kind of was, and so she chose which task me and the other two marketing assistants were going to do. So
Okay.
like you're gonna do this section of stuff, you're gonna do this section, you're gonna do this other section. And she gave me the section where I had to basically do all the email marketing. So if you're a Tigers newsletter subscriber, you're a season ticket holder, like I sent you emails. The whole,
Blast it out.
like that was me. Coming up with like what we should say in the email if there's text
Oh, like
messages.
the little catchphrases.
Yep. The
I,
subject lines, picking the pictures for them, working with the creative staff because now there's a whole staff that do all these different, creative images and whatnot. And they'd be like, "Okay, Ryan, like, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "Looks good. Like, let's get it out, or like make sure there's no typos and stuff." So anytime anyone got an email, I saw the email basically. and like was putting it together.
That's right, guys. If you got an email that said "catch a tiger by his toe," it was Ryan. Oh, it was.
That
It was
was that was my main that was my main responsibility. And anytime there were like big social events, so like Fiesta Tigres, Negro Leagues weekend, there was like
okay.
a baseball situation. I helped with a lot of those events too. So like Negro Leagues weekend, they had like pamphlets, booklets, whatever you want to call them, like programs,
Yeah,
programs. I wrote the copy for the programs. Um,
gotcha.
any special theme event, any heritage night, pop culture theme, whatever happening, I wrote the copy for that on the website, and it went on the website. When we were doing the big push for Miggy's retirement, we had a whole separate page on Tigers.com dedicated to Miggy's retirement, his final season, and I wrote the majority of the copy on that page as well, which they were so excited about because I'm really a writer, so I have a writing background. Anyways, that's all I did in college for 4 years was write papers, and they were like, "Oh my god, I hate writing. Whenever we need something written, we're gonna ask you. Just be prepared." And they literally asked me for to write everything, which was fine. That was,
You're a
that
part of history.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're a part of history. Do you have that like written somewhere?
I have like like I wrote it all in a Google Doc, and then I would send it over, and they would just copy and paste it onto the website or whatever. And then I was putting the website together too. I was like, okay,
You're part of Tiger's history.
yeah, I am, and it was kind of a wild time because a lot of it was like as much preparing as you do for stuff, other things come up,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, like we've been preparing for this, but now it's go time. And then we would have higher ups be like, oh, actually, let's change everything, and then you got to go and change everything. So like deadline tied, and they'd be like, this was due at 12 o'clock, and it is now 1:47 p.m. So we need to get this
And
going,
yeah.
things like that. So it was a grind, and I there were moments that were like really really grindy, and other moments that were kind of like, okay, like this is regular 9 to 5 day. And I think that's just the nature of working in sports. Is some
Yeah.
days are more chill. The next day you could be there for 14 hours.
True. True. So then you go from Detroit to the Ops. That's crazy. You know. Oh, can I ask you something honestly?
Hmm.
Who's Detroit's rival, like in baseball?
Probably the number one is Cleveland.
We won't talk about the Guardians.
We don't have to get into that right now, but
No. Yeah.
I would say number one is Cleveland.
Okay.
And also, if you know anything about Michigan and Ohio, we don't
Oh,
like each other. So
that's true.
there's just that too. Like, what's a Cleveland? So,
I feel like we're what over 2,100 days since Ohio State beat Michigan. You guys are okay.
and that's like such a thing too.
You guys are
That
okay.
stuff that would like be posted up like just around the campus.
Yo,
Like,
I
how did they?
watch WWE, right? I watch wrestling. We do a wrestling podcast every Saturday. There's somebody at every wrestling event with a sign of how many days it's been since Michigan beats Ohio State. Every event.
Yep.
So and what's funny, one of my best friends, Ohio State fan, he doesn't watch wrestling, but I make a point to send him the sign whenever I see it at a WWE event, just to bother him a little bit, just to bother him.
Gosh, I love that. My best friend graduated from Ohio State.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but she's not into sports at all. So I can't even like joke with her like that because she's like, girl. I'm like, I
Yeah,
know, I gotta find somebody.
he's like, who cares? I
She's like,
went for the
yeah, I
education.
care less. But yeah, I would say Cleveland's number one. I mean, but anybody in your division is your rival. But I would definitely say Cleveland is probably the number one.
Yeah, the one that caught you. But we'll talk about that in a second. Real quick, let's talk about you being with the Twins
Yes.
and you being a draft. Hold on, what's the title exactly? I had it in my notes. I want you to say
Baseball
it.
draft operations fellow.
Okay,
Yeah.
you said it, and I've always known this. There are so many jobs in sports.
Hmm.
What the hell is a baseball draft? Uh, what does that entail? What is that?
First and foremost, let me distinguish fellow from intern.
Got you.
In theory, it's the same thing, but for the most part, when a team or like an organization puts fellow in their title, it usually means that this is a position that we hire people again from. So if you're a fellow, you might get a return offer. If you're an intern,
Yeah,
thanks for your work this summer.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it, which is fine. Again, that's the nature of sports.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny too because my supervisor at the when I was there, that was her fourth year there, and her fellow cohort, like her cohort of fellows 4 years prior, 5 years now, was the cohort that they did a lot of hiring from.
Okay.
So there was several people who got hired from her cohort of fellows, which was like awesome for y'all. I'm like, sucks for us because it's only been 4 years. Y'all probably aren't going
You're not
nowhere.
going nowhere. Yeah.
Right. So that distinguish, I mean, is important. But what I did was basically anything having to do with the draft, I had a hand in. So I was working with the amateur scouting department, and I did a lot of work on Excel and SQL, going through their internal Twins database, pulling information about every single potential prospect that exists that they might ever be interested in for the draft. I'm pulling all their information. I'm seeing, did y'all, go get your vision test? Do you have medical history? And if you're a pitcher, did you upload all your pitch grips? Did you fill out the Twins questionnaire? Did you fill out the MLB questionnaire? Like, do we have your basic information? Do I know where you live? What is your shirt size? How old are you? Like, I was filtering through all the information. I had to update that every week and every 2 weeks, depending on which information they wanted, and sending it to amateur scouting leadership. This is all pre-draft, and then as we got closer to the draft, every team does the draft a little bit differently. Some teams kind of do it where it's like, hey, we might just be on Zoom, we might have a phone call, or it might just be like the GM and a few other important people in the room, and everybody else can just be on call elsewhere. The Twins get everybody together in one big room, and
Okay.
everybody, I mean anybody who's relevant to anything at all, like having to do with players. So, you know, research and development, training staff, like everybody. It was a big production and it was really cool to see. But I was putting together, like I was organizing the room. I was, contacting the pipe and drape companies. I was calling catering because we had to cater, every meal. I'm getting information from the scouts like, oh, they're supposed to be coming in this day. Let's have, these gifts ready for them. Ryan, we need, things printed out, stuff like that. Or like, oh, there's no more muffins left. Do we have more muffins? So like literally the littlest things that are like very interny I was doing, and
Yeah.
very important things, which was we need all of this information. You have it. We all need it.
Yeah.
Can you get it to everybody? And then when they did the combine, my direct supervisor went to the combine, and I don't know if they always did this, but it seemed very last minute to me at the time. But they were like, "Can you go on to those questionnaires and everything that you had to see if they all had, read through them, and let us know what we should ask them at the combine?"
How many questions on that thing?
It was some of them were very like, I mean, it depends on the questionnaire though, because there was a twin specific questionnaire, there was like an MLB questionnaire, and one other one I'm forgetting. So I'm like literally going through all of them, reading through their responses, and some questions were generic, like, "Why do you want to play baseball?" And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, that might be an important question, but for the most part, if you're at the MLB Combine, you're playing baseball because you want to be a professional baseball player. Like
Yes.
that's what I'm thinking in my mind. And then I would read like one guy said he wants to play baseball to give him like a platform to retire early and hunt.
Okay. You here for the money, man?
And I said, okay, like that's fine, I guess, but probably not what they want to hear. So that's a guy who I'd be like, you might want to ask him about what his real life goal is, which is to
Yeah.
hunt for the rest of it. You know
Yeah,
what
see,
I'm
he's
saying?
actually interested in the sport,
Exactly. And like that might not be the guy you wanna.
especially baseball, right? Because it
Right.
ain't like football or basketball where you get drafted and you automatically playing.
Exactly. That's why I'm sitting up here. I'm like, where's he ranked at again? Because
That too, right? That too.
I'm like, if you're not up there, this might not. You might need to do something different.
Like, bro, you're gonna be the 15th round draft pick, my boy.
I was sitting up
So,
there like, wow, this is like there's so everyone's so unique. It was like, okay. So they had me doing a little bit of everything once it came time for the draft. But I was doing a lot of sequels. So I kinda had to teach myself how to like it was kind of like coding. It was like coding, programming. And I'm like, I ain't never done that before, you know.
you learned it.
I did a lot of that when that was ended up being really cool. I got to do some like pitch typing things. So they have their own little database and technology thing that tracks every player's pitches for every game that they've ever thrown.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, based on the metrics, based on the spin rate, the speed, and the location, that was probably a slider. But of course, technology is imperfect. So we have to go in there and see that spin rate and location doesn't align with what we think a spin rate should be and where we think sliders should move. So that might not be a slider.
Is
That
that a
might
sleeper?
be a bad curveball. It'd be stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'll have to go in and correct that. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. Um, and then post draft, I did budgets
Woo.
for for the scouts. So they have to, scouts are traveling all the time.
Yeah.
So I have to track their car mileage, their flights, and their hotels. And if their numbers made sense, fantastic. And if they did not make sense, I had to make sense of them.
Like, bruh, where you drove that damn car?
I was like, so I'm like, how do we jump from this day and then 7 days later, like nothing happens between those 7 days, and your numbers are drastically different. I'm like, you didn't log for a whole week? Like it'd be, but they were really good. The scouts were great. They were all, I mean, when I say that that was probably the best professional experience I've ever had working for the Twins.
Yeah.
They were incredible. Everyone in that office was phenomenal. They were all really cool. They were like, if you need anything, please let us know. And they really meant it too. And I'm the type of person who really prides myself on figuring things out on my own. So I
Yeah.
don't like asking people like for help or questions. I'm gonna figure it out first. And if I absolutely cannot, then that's when I'll reach out to you. But you probably won't hear from me. Like I'm like, if you don't hear from me, that means I'm doing great.
Oh,
And
that's
they had a culture where it was very like, hey, I'm gonna pop in and just check up on you just because I care about you. And I'd be like, y'all kind of in my business. But that's how I took it. But that's not really what it was. They were like, no, we just like talking to each other. Like we just want to see how you're doing. And then they would all go to lunch at the same time. They'd be picking people up from their offices and their desks, like, okay, y'all, it's the lunch train. Like, let's head down to lunch. And I'd be like, what if I'm not hungry right now? But
you
that's
come
just
get you a snack.
right.
Get
I'm like,
you a snack.
it was so cool. And I embraced it more once I kind of was like, because I'm kind of naturally introverted anyway. So to me, it was a bit much.
Yeah.
I was like, I appreciate it. And I really loved that because everyone was so genuine. It wasn't like this
See?
is what we do. It was like, no, we want to do this. So they were, I mean,
See? And you thought you was going to work with the ops. Look, and they was out here loving on
I
you,
didn't
bro.
know what to expect, honestly. And they were amazing. I
That's
mean, everybody. I got to meet real high up important people, and we would just have like regular conversations. Like you aren't the man who makes all the decisions in here. You know what I'm saying? They were just super cool people.
gotta love that. Hold on, we got a couple comments. We got King Matthew, a friend of the show. What's up? How you doing? What up, King Matthew? What's up? What's up? And then we got my friend Deuce. I'm a Y'all gotta follow each other on TikTok, by the way. Defer to the game. A lot of great baseball content.
Okay.
He did a whole series on being the Rockies GM. That was freaking amazing. Baseball is the keys, and the keys can't be enough. Mr. Scout. Jokes. Jokes on jokes, man. Um so you I know it's a lot. I know it's a whole lot to run
Yeah.
an organization, right?
Yeah.
But the foundation is there for you.
Mhm.
like from the ground up of the marketing, the media, the
Mhm.
scouting, all of those things.
Mhm.
To we're going to start this petition. Let's go ahead and make you the GM of the Tigers because, yeah, hey, I think you could do it. I personally think you could do it.
Same.
And as a Tigers fan
Mhm.
and somebody who is in the know, like I'm talking about from the ground up, like I say, you work with the scouting department for the Twins, so you know from the ground up. Do you view this season as a success for the Tigers?
Um. So this is a conversation I was just having with somebody else because I had said after the All Star break, I said we're doing. So we're doing amazing. I was like, but if we don't do anything at the trade deadline, again, that's going to tell me a lot about what the Tigers' goal for themselves was this year, or rather, what the front office goal for the Tigers. Because I'm sure for the players, their goal is to like win,
Yeah.
win as much as they can. And um, I don't know if that's the vibe that I always got. Was like, no, we're like from like the decisions that are being made is like, do y'all want to win? I know that y'all do, but like, how bad do you want to win? So I don't know. I feel like for the regular season, based on how we ended the season, I don't know if I would feel super comfortable calling it a success. I think that many successful things happen, and I think a lot of things that should not have happened also happened,
Such as,
such as blowing a 15 and a half game lead.
yeah, but that's not one thing. When you blow 15 and a half
One
games,
big thing that's a culmination of a bunch of little things.
yeah,
And
agree.
so because of that, I just feel like you can't have an amazing first half. And then I don't want to say you blow the second half because we did make the playoffs, but it feels like we took our foot off the gas and maybe at some point the car broke down and it took AAA forever to come.
Uh,
So
listen,
I don't know. And this is, I mean, I'm not trying to say anything disparaging about my team or whatever, but I just felt like there's, I think this might just be another learning season.
maybe, I mean, and I'm not saying this to like be funny.
Hey, I don't know what the conversations in the front office were. I don't know if they were like, hey, if we don't make it, to the postseason or we don't win a World Series, that's cool. I don't know if they were just like okay with just being good. I think this team could have been really amazing. And I think what we have is a good team.
I think you guys have a good team. Um, First of all, you guys didn't met it. We have a saying in my group chat and friends and cousins, and I'm spreading the word. You can use it. The Mets are going to met it. Okay, you guys were not the Mets.
Yeah.
All right, this could have been very ugly if you didn't make the playoffs.
Hmm.
But all things can be forgiven if you beat the Guardian.
And and yes, and so I was getting to this too because I also said this. I was like, this could be like that Michigan season we had a few years ago, where if you don't, there's also this saying as Michigan people, if we lose every game but we beat Ohio State, it's a successful season. I think if and hopefully when we come back and we win this wild card series round against the Guardians,
It's
uh,
all good.
all might be forgiven.
It's all good.
All might be forgiven, but I would say this is probably mostly a learning season for the Tigers. And I also feel like, and I've said this before, that it's my belief that the Tigers baseball operations wants to wait for their guys, wait for their top prospects. So 2027, 2028, we should be unstoppable. And
Yeah.
I respect that. I do respect, kind of playing the long game and waiting for all the people to hit at the right time. I respect that. I also believe that if you've got a really good playoff contending team right now, just invest in them.
You got to go after it.
You got to go for it.
You got
I think
you.
that's my point of contention sometimes with the decisions that are made. It's like, but y'all can do, like, y'all can have it right now. You don't have to wait. You could go get it right now. So
Listen,
I respect what they're trying to do, but again, this is just me personally as a fan. I feel like they could have done more.
listen. We've been on for 50 minutes. This is the most we've ever talked, right? Outside of a couple messages. But you've watched enough sports, I know, and have enough sports knowledge to know that you cannot predict the future.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how these prospects can ultimately turn out.
Very true.
You don't know what's going on, what can happen with injury.
Very
You don't
true.
know what player might just be like, I don't want to be here no more. Right? You owe it to your fan base to go after it when you have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if y'all would have been 70 in what 92, all right, cool.
Right.
Like,
Right.
why? What are we doing? You
Right.
know, but you guys were in first place for a good. I mean, like of the American League, not the Central, for a good enough amount of the season to say, let's go after it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go for it. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm speaking as a Yankees fan. We've been fake going for it. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been going for it for the people who just read the headlines. But as somebody who's watched enough, I know the bullshit. You know, I see it. But what moves would you have done different? Let's say around the trade deadline to pedal to the metal for this Detroit Tigers team. You the
Yeah.
GM, put on your GM hat. But
Yeah.
also, you know more than we do. You know that certain moves cannot be made.
Yes, and that's true. Um, but certain moves can't be made, but they can be.
Okay.
I think if a team really wants somebody and there's a roadblock in the way, they're gonna knock the roadblock down.
Yeah.
If you're diving head first into the deep end, nothing's stopping you. You're going for it, right? But I would have got an impact bat first and foremost. First
Okay.
and and then we need more help in the bullpen. And I've seen people say like, "Oh, the Tigers have some bullpen depth," and I'm like, "There's a lot of guys who can pitch out of the bullpen. That's true. We have a lot of those. How big is the impact?"
Yeah.
And I will say, I give credit to AJ Hinch because he's really done something really quite incredible with what he's been given. And the way he has put together rosters and put together combinations of players and pitchers to like, hey, I just need this from you. And I got somebody else. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like he's really been able to kind of just piece things together and they come together. So shout out to him for that. But at the trade deadline, I definitely would have just went and spent some money.
Side
Uh,
note. Okay, I'm just be honest with you. I use profanity. Um, fuck AJ Hinch forever. Okay, he's still a cheater. Yeah, yeah,
look,
he's still a
look, and look. Let me tell you something. When
still.
they announced that they were even in conversation with AJ Hinch, I was the number one skeptic.
Yeah,
I was the number one skeptic. I was like, that's not the vibe I need y'all to bring to my city after what happened in Houston. That's not at all what I want. Like talent aside from being a great manager, because he is a
yeah,
great manager, but
yeah.
all that aside, it felt like there was going to be a lot of drama that came in with it
Just saw that.
that's all I could focus on. Like, not taking anything away from AJ Hinch because he is really a great manager. But I was like, is that what we need right now? Like, do we need to bring the scandal with us? Like, this might be a clean slate for him. Is it going to be for us? And to be quite frank, I feel like most Tigers fans are very much okay with him.
He turned y'all around.
Like, he definitely turned us around. And I think they're like, okay,
He
he's a
turned y'all around.
whatever. Like he don't
Yeah.
work for Houston no more. So like, and that's real, and I get that. And
Cheater. Cheater. He cost us. He cost us. I'm never gonna let that go. Hold on one second. Yeah, I just saw this on Bleacher Report. The Twins just let go of Rocco Baldelli.
oh wow,
Now, I don't know. Rocco Baldelli probably is going to work for MLB Network for a year. I'm just saying. Just saying. Where else can he go? Maybe the Angels. Maybe the. I don't know. I know for real. He's probably going to be at TBS or the MLB Network this year. Well, that's not funny. That's a cool. Like that's is he's young. Take a year off. He'll get back to it next year. I don't.
oh man, that's funny.
Hey man, you go 70 and 92. You might need a year off. Just saying. Might just a year off. I'm not saying he's gonna retire.
Yeah, I mean, he probably won't retire. He
Yeah,
probably
he'll be okay.
he might. I mean, he might go take like an assistant manager position.
Yeah, third base coach.
Yeah, yeah. It could be like another Brad Osman situation, where like someone's gonna find a spot for him.
Hey, I said it jokingly. The Angels thought they had that guy with Ryan Washington. That didn't work out. They have a hey. Who wouldn't want to go to LA and not have the pressure of the Dodgers? Being a Dodgers manager. You obviously don't have to win in Anaheim. It's an easy job to have. You don't win 75 games, you're the man. Um, all right. So I got
There,
like one last thing I got to talk to you about before we get out of here. And I've ever since yesterday, I wanted to have this conversation with you. And now we get to have it on air. What made you a Yankee hater? Because yesterday, while you were doing your baseball and barista, you said you are the biggest. She went Kendrick Lamar.
I did not say I was the biggest. No, 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 no.
See, I'm gonna have to go listen again because, well, maybe my ears just wanted to hear the biggest.
This, this, this is how y'all act. But let me say this.
It's how we act.
This is how y'all act. Y'all just be making up stuff.
Wow.
Um, so again, once again, I feel like if you're not a Yankees fan, you're a Yankee hater by default.
Okay.
So just, I think part of it was inherited. I just didn't like the Yankees because my dad hated the Yankees, and
Come
since I
on,
got
pops.
it from him,
Come on,
it was
pops.
yeah, we don't like the Yankees. And now my oldest sister lived in New York for a long time, and when we would go visit her, we would try to line it up so we can go to a Tigers Yankees game.
Yeah.
My first time in Yankee Stadium scarred me.
Why?
I will never go back to Yankee Stadium. I might go hang out in the Bronx. Never. When I was interning at the commissioner's office, I went all the way out to freaking Flushing, Queens, getting on that F train for an hour and a half, even if it is the express one. It took me forever to get there, and went to City Field and saw a Mets game. I'm not going to Yankee Stadium. It was not fun. And granted, I was younger, but I didn't like the ballpark. I didn't like the fans. They were loud and belligerent. They were drunk and stumbling. This was when A Rod was still playing, and I didn't like him either. And he had just come back from being suspended for forever, and he came up to bat, and the Yankees fans booed him.
Yes. Yes. Because you're the most honest fans.
I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it.
You
I
know
could
why?
not believe it. I was like, who are they booing? I'm like, Dad, who are they booing? They're like, they're booing A Rod. I'm like, their own player?
Yeah. Because
I'm
you
like,
left us.
what are we talking about?
Yeah, you left us high and dry because you want to do drugs.
So that was insane to me. I'm like, I have never, like, I don't boo players. Like,
Really?
I take that back. I booed one player probably. But,
Who?
I mean, A Rod. But
Why you boo A-Rod?
the same reason y'all booed A
Oh,
Rod.
okay. All right. I'll allow it.
But
But no,
here's
that's like when somebody messing with your family. It could be the person you mess with all the time, but you can't do it though.
and that's fine, but you don't act up when you got guests.
Oh yeah, true, true.
You know what I'm saying? So he got up to bat. This was his first at bat being back. He struck out. Y'all booed him when he stepped up to the plate. Y'all booed him when
Yes.
he struck out. Then
Yes.
next time he came up, he hit a home run, and
Yeah.
y'all cheered for him.
Yeah. You got
I'm
to give us something to cheer for.
no,
You got to
mm-mm.
give us something to cheer for.
I
But
didn't like.
that's why. But
I didn't like that.
now we can roll into your. Hold on one second, real quick. Train ride back from Yankees game is a culture experience in its own. It
Trust.
is.
I have seen all sorts of videos, and I'm like, if I was a Yankees fan, I would live for that. But
Yes.
I dislike y'all. I would feel so uncomfortable. Like, oh my gosh. And so when A Rod hit that home run, I forget he was pitching for us, but it was someone I liked. And the fans, like maybe 4 or 5 rows up above us, was like, oh yeah, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Oh yeah, F the Tigers, punk A Tigers,
Oh
stupid
yeah. They
Tiger
gonna
fan,
cuss you out.
back to Detroit. Ain't nobody heard of Michigan football. I was like,
They
you're
gonna
doing too much.
they gonna cuss you out.
I said you're doing too much. Mind you, I'm like 11. And you're drunk and belligerent above me. You're spilling your beer on me. My team is losing. I have beer on me and I'm a child.
I get it.
Y'all are loud and belligerent. It was too much. I
I get
didn't.
it.
Why is the ballpark so white? It wasn't cute. I didn't like any of it.
Wow.
Someone pushed me. I didn't like any of it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. You got. You know what?
First and last time, it was awful. And granted, like I said, I was younger.
Yeah. You should go back.
I won't.
You should go back.
Mm-mm.
Yankee, go to Yankee Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
embrace it. Embrace all that comes with being in such a
You want to
hey,
know a secret though?
baseball. What heaven? Pretty much. That's what we'll call it. Baseball heaven. Yankee Stadium. What's
You want
up?
to know a secret though? My first ever autographed baseball came from a Yankees player.
Come on now,
But it wasn't, I mean, it was Kyle Higashioka. That was 2022 again. He was,
Iggy.
yes, yes, he was actually really nice. And I'm like, that's because you're not like a real Yankees player. Like, you ain't been here for a long time. Like, you're not really indoctrinated in the culture.
I like Iggy, man. Don't do Iggy like that.
So nice. And so I got to go to batting practice, is what it was. Because
Okay.
my friend who I was interning with, her dad is actually, he's a coach for a team. And so she was like, yeah, he knows somebody who works for the Mets. And that's what we were at City Field. It was a Subway series.
Okay.
And so we got to go to batting practice. And I got like a little like bootleg picture with Aaron Judge. But he was very much like, okay, I'm about to sign some autographs. And then I'm about to go back to to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And Higgy stayed. And he was just out there just like signing balls. And I had picked up a ball off the ground because it had rolled over towards where the partition was, and I was like, "Well, this is my ball now. Got the scuff marks on it and everything."
Perfect.
And he saw me with it, and he was like, "You want me to sign it?" And I was like, "Oh,
Heck yeah.
sure, yeah." Very nice man. He was like, "Here you go. Like, enjoy the game." I was like, "Oh, period. Thank you."
Gotta love it.
Okay. But yeah, no, like I said, I'll compliment the team when they're doing good. I'll compliment a guy or two,
Hey,
but
there's a few guys to compliment.
it's yeah.
Jazz 30-30.
I mean,
Stanton is hit. I mean, he played
guys,
a
it's
handful of games, 20 home runs.
talking about like
You know, Ben
Yankees,
Rice.
talking about like Yankees. Like this is really your team.
Oh yeah. I mean, we got the MVP. Who should be the MVP.
I
But
mean, you might.
you feel you say different.
So no, let me clear this up.
Yeah, let's clear this up because we
Both of them, to me, deserve it.
can't do codes though.
No, oh no.
You got to vote right now, Ryan. You have a vote.
I
Who are
have to.
you voting for?
I'm voting for Cal Raleigh. And and again, what I've been trying to explain to people in my TikTok comments, because the men like to tussle.
Oh yeah,
I'm,
we're gonna tussle.
I'm like,
Woman, what do you know?
a lot more than these guys do. But
Facts.
my whole thing about it is, you can vote for Aaron Judge. That's totally fine. He deserves it. But if your entire argument rests on the premise that he's the best hitter on the planet, that's not what this award is. There is an award that exists for being the best hitter in your league. It's called the Hank Aaron Award. So if all
Agreed.
you're saying is, oh, he's the MVP because he's the best hitter, that's not, like, you got to give me more than that. That's just not an argument that I feel like is a strong one.
You know, it's
Puts up what he does with his bat is insane. We know this.
yes,
But that's not all this award is. And then I said it too. I was like, do the Yankees make the postseason without him?
maybe,
Yeah, maybe.
maybe
Do the
we'll
Mariners
never know.
then without Cal Raleigh and everything he does, not just for his team but for his pitching staff. You've got to understand. What I want people to understand is that catchers, especially when they're really good, like Riley is right now, do more to impact their team overall than like any other position player. What they do, what Cal Riley is doing with his bat, what he's doing defensively, and then what he does for the pitching staff. There's a reason why we say catchers manage the pitching staff, and that's because they literally do. Everything flows through him. And so now it begs the question to me, well, if he's calling all the pitches and he's working with his pitchers all the time, how good are his pitchers because he's a great catcher?
I only got one rebuttal.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, two, going back to your video. One, you mentioned them winning the division, but the Yankees have a better overall record in a tougher division. One.
Okay.
And two, you know they got all these next level second gen stats and all this other stuff. Stats that you've probably seen that I don't even know nothing about. Kyle Riley's middle of the road as a catcher. So we got to stop making it seem like Kyle Riley is just this awesome catcher where
So
it's putting him into like a stratosphere of
I get what you're
doing
saying.
so much that
I get
it
what you're saying.
is a gap.
I get what you're saying. And here's my rebuttal to this. We're not comparing Cal Raleigh against every other catcher in the league.
I can feel that. But I
Like,
think
not,
but
like that doesn't hold a candle to me. It doesn't hold a candle to what the topic of the conversation is. All I'm saying is, if you believe Aaron Judge is the MVP, you have to give me a reason that is not completely reliant upon his offensive stats. And then if you are evaluating a catcher and how valuable he is to his team, you have to take into consideration all the things that catchers do for their teams, things that stats don't exist for them. Like, there's no stat that encompasses how valuable a catcher is to his team. There's a million stats about how valuable a hitter is to his team. So now you're comparing things that are like, oh, we have all these things that show us that Aaron Judge is, this offensive giant because he
yeah,
is. But we don't have anything that highlights all that Cal Riley is. But you're highlighting all that Aaron Judge is, which is mostly what he does with his bat. And that's, again, not underscoring what he does because it's huge and it's
yes,
impactful and it's valuable. But I feel like the culmination of all things, offense, defense, and then positing it in the realm of that team. I'm gonna just repeat that. That's a good one.
agreed.
Funny, but I
Agreed.
just feel like so I was watching MLB Tonight a few days ago, and they had Tom Verducci on. He was talking to Greg, and Tom was saying, well, we don't have a stat to show us how valuable catchers are, so I have to look at just the stats that we have. And I'm like, that's so
That's
old timer. That's so old
but no,
timer to
that's no,
say.
no, but that's the fact though. Because
Are
honestly, me and Deuce
no,
had this
now now you're it's not right because now you're saying, oh, like, sorry, it doesn't exist for you, but it exists for him. That's now we're missing things. We're missing things. You're saying we have stats that show how great you are. Oh, we don't have any stats to show how great you are. I guess you're not that great compared to him. That's what that argument means to me.
now that did sound very dismissive.
Principles with being a catcher, that you
Yeah,
have to look beyond the stats because, again, and I'm a person who, my whole kind of like identity around being in sports and my perspective about it is that Sports and these players are more than just the numbers. And if you're just a numbers person, hey, the numbers are going to show me everything. They're going to tell me everything I need to know. Then I can't help you. I think that's the wrong way to look at it. But I can't help you if you think that numbers tell you everything you need to know. When you have catchers who there literally aren't stats for catchers, how there are stats for offense. So it's like, okay, well, what other value do catchers bring that we can, so we can paint a full picture here? You can probably get a decent
We
picture
we do
with
have stats. We do have stats, but you just told me we can't
talking,
compare him
talking
to
you know, framing and blocking and
a
putouts. I'm not
pop.
talking stats like that. I'm talking about what other value does
Okay.
catchers bring to the sport that we cannot measure, that we don't
Does
have numbers for. And
does
that's
does
all I'm saying
defensive
is
run save? Does that help? Is that a stat that you look at? Defensive run save?
sure. But like I said, I think I said this in my video. It could be in my part two that I have in my draft. But you cannot show me, you cannot put side by side Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh. It's like a million offensive stats and one defensive stat.
No. I honestly, it's funny because Deuce, the guy who's been commenting, we've talked about this because this argument feels like it's been going since All Star break almost. It's been a two-man race since around then.
Yeah.
And I said that even as an Aaron Judge guy. Look, I'm going Aaron Judge all day. But if you want me to vote for, or I don't have a vote, but if you want me to campaign for Kyle Riley, you got to show me something other than the offense because it's no competition in that case.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like I've said that as well. Like you have to show me something else because
Because then why is the race close?
60 home runs, man.
If you're saying, oh, he should win because the offense isn't even close, then explain to me why the race is close.
Well,
Because there's other things that have to be taken into consideration here.
well, as a baseball person that history is a big deal, right? The
Oh, it is.
Mickey Mantle history, the switch hitting, the catch, like the home runs for his position and all those things matters.
Yes.
You know, now we can get into Aaron Judge being the only person not on steroids to hit 50 home runs 4 years. The only person that played in a non-segregated MLB to hit 50 home runs for 4 years. We can get into the history of it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bore you, you know. But the history of what Kyle Riley's doing is causing this. You know what I'm saying? But it's history in New York too, but no one cares. No one
And
cares. Do you
yes,
think people are bored with Aaron Judge though?
and this is where I thought you were going, and that's what I'm not buying into. Is this? Oh, it's Judge fatigue, it's Yankee fatigue. I don't think people give a crap about that. I think like older baseball fans and the men who are, I'm saying men, but the people who are voting, like the writers, who are probably mostly men anyway, who are probably mostly 50 and older, I don't think they care about that. I think they care, hey, if you're the better player, you're the better player. If Aaron Judge wins 3 MVPs in a row, it's probably because he deserved it.
Yeah. Barry
It
Bonds did it.
doesn't matter if it's like, oh, he just won it last year, they're not going to give it to him again. What are y'all talking about? Yes, they would. And I don't know why people don't believe. I feel like they absolutely would. They're not. I don't feel like they're in the business of, oh, we gave it to him last year. Let's give it to this guy. That's like so little league.
I don't think it's that far. I really do think that the history of Kyle Riley is the biggest factor of this. I mean, 60 home runs is a magic number. Like I'm not like let's be honest, 60 home runs is a magic number. I don't care what your batting average is.
Exactly.
247, which is crazy. But you know what I'm saying? Like
So yeah, 60 is crazy. Again, the batting averages are okay. And this is my other thing. People are like, look at the batting averages. I'm like, y'all can't spend the last 10 years telling folks that batting average isn't that important. And now all of a sudden it's important or
well,
it's like a tiebreaker to y'all.
as a
And
as a Yankee though, Jose Altuve beat Judge for an MVP based on solely batting average. So we have the recent history of that.
that's a fact. Y'all talk to all the writers.
What other reason? 57 home runs, 284. He literally every stat. Every
Again,
stat was
again,
judges.
again, this goes back to my point about most valuable player versus the best player. Do most people think that Aaron Judge is the better player of the two? Absolutely. I don't think that many people would argue that
Yeah,
Aaron Judge is, I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer and a future like VIP Hall of Famer. Like he's one of those small table Hall of Famers.
for sure.
Cal Riley might not ever be a Hall of Famer. But again, we're not talking about who's the best player. We're talking about who is the most valuable player to their team in this season in their league.
And
And
real quick on this comment, Kyle Riley is Jared Goff, not
to
Jalen Hurts.
America's success, they don't get this far without him. The Yankees probably would be fine without Aaron Judge. And then
Remember 2023? Judge got hurt and we fell off the rails. We have evidence of a non-Aaron Judge Yankees team, and I don't ever want to see that again. Okay, we we were so bad we made Brian Cashman finally make a move for Juan Soto after 3 years. Like it was terrible. It was. I'm not gonna let you roll with that. We were freaking terrible. All
I'm
right,
talking about the 2025 season.
I feel you, but I just don't ever want to go back to that.
I want people to remember that these awards exist within a realm. You cannot say, oh, well, we've seen what he's done, or like we've seen, like if you put like hypothetical situations that have nothing to do with anything, oh, if this person was this person in that year and they did this, please
I
stop.
feel that. I
Please
would.
stop. That's not what we're talking about. It all comes down to what they did on their team, to their team, for their team in this year. And was that more valuable than what he provided to his team in this year? And I think if you can make an argument for why Aaron Judge's impact on his team was bigger than Cal Raleigh's, outside of he's just the best hitter in the entire league, if you cannot show me specifically what he has done for his team that outweighs the value that Cal Riley as a catcher has, then you've lost me. Again, I don't care who people pick
I
for
don't know, man. I don't
the
know. I'm
is.
looking at ooze from my speakers of Yankee hate. It's just happening right now, and I'm gonna have to clean it up.
Bye.
I'm gonna
Goodbye.
have to clean it up.
All I'm saying is they both deserve it. If you make a case for Aaron Judge, it's got to be more than just the hitting.
Well, one thing for sure, and
And you got to take into consideration what catchers do for their team. I'm like, people just like are disrespecting catchers left and right. Because what do you mean, like him being a catcher has nothing to do with it? It has a lot to do with it. And that's my problem. Is y'all are like, oh, he's a catcher. That doesn't matter though, because
now I wouldn't say that. Like I say, I've always said that they
that, and that's all I want is for people to consider all
no.
that Kyle Rowley is because he's a catcher, what he does for his team as a catcher. Take that into consideration. If you take all of that into consideration and you tell me more than what Aaron Judge does offensively for his team, and you still pick Aaron Judge, fine. You have considered all the parts of Kyle Riley, which I feel like most people just aren't doing, and that's
Yeah,
my issue. I
I
don't
feel
care
that.
what you pick as long as you are looking at the whole picture,
No,
not
I'm
just
not mad at that.
a portion of it. Aaron Judge absolutely deserves it, but I'm thinking that Raleigh is more valuable to the Mariners because they don't get this far without him than Aaron Judge is to the Yankees. Just
Yeah.
statistically.
I look.
But if Judge gets it, I'd be like, yeah, he deserves it.
God damn it, Dad. I will say this. I've my entire fandom of the MLB and like really understanding the MLB as much as I can understand the MLB. I've always said that they've gotten the MVP award right more than any other sport. I'm not gonna let them because and I'll give you a little backstory. A-Rod won the MVP on the Rangers. Okay. The Rangers was fucking terrible. Most valuable player. Are you the best player? We're gonna award you. Like they not. It's not like the NBA where the best player on the best team or NFL best player on the best team. Most valuable player, and I've always felt like the MLB got that right. Same with the Hall of Fame. I feel like they get that right more than any other sport because they'll say, "Don't nobody deserve to get in this year," and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna lower our standards because of the year. So I'm not gonna pivot from my thoughts. just because they probably gonna cheat my boy this year. Anyway,
Is it though? Is it a cheat though?
it's not a cheat, man. Look, I was talking to another friend of mine who's a Yankees fan. And I asked him, like, non-Yankee bias, who you got? And she was like, I don't know. And I said, if he get to 60, he probably got it locked up. And he got to 60. 60 is a magic number in baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And having other conversations, I brought up his batting average, and my cousin, a guy who he's on Wednesday and we do the normal show, he said something that really opened my eyes. He was like, yo, when you hit 60 home runs, your batting average can be 247. He was like, now if he would have had 20 home runs, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Like, he hit 60 home runs. Like, that's a big deal. And I get that. And one more thing that kind of made me, look at Kyle Riley winning, like that won't be a bad thing, was MLB Network. I forgot who it was. And he was saying something. You don't want Riley to have a big, like his average don't matter because you're not looking for him to be on first base going
Exactly.
station. You want him home runs to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So I get those things, but don't mess with greatness with Aaron Judge, man. He is on a historic tear. Okay, I can go history. Like I said, we could go history.
Aaron Judge doesn't win in his Hall of Fame career, I promise you, he's not going to care.
We
That
are
man does not care. That man is getting paid $400 million.
listen.
My other point, he's getting paid $400 million to hit how he's hitting. He's supposed to do that.
Wait. Time out. Listen. I know that this shouldn't be a thing. But
Uh-oh.
Aaron Judge decided to re-sign with the Yankees and put on those heavy ass pinstripes, and he has been balling ever since. You have seen people put on them pinstripes and crumble.
Uh-huh.
Not for nothing, and I'm not. We will never know, and this goes back to the coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? But Kyle Riley could go to the Yankees and crumble. We have seen this happen. No, for real. We have seen great players, good players go to New York and not be that guy. Aaron Judge has been in New York and has been Superman.
Yes, he has been. And,
So
and
they're
they're
not
expecting him to do that. Like, this is another thing they brought up on MLB Network, and this is what Greg was saying. He said when you get a contract and it's $400 million or more, they are paying you to be Superman. That is the expectation that you, as Aaron Judge, are supposed to play like Aaron Judge.
Hey,
When you have a guy like Cal Riley on the Mariners, a smaller market team, and I guess, like you said, maybe a less competitive division, who's getting paid $2 million this year, by the way, $2.7 million, I think. And he has doubled his production from last year. And y'all are not considering that to be value as well. If you
that's
want,
but we're talking about pressure, though. We're not
look,
talking about value. We're talking about pressure. When you're not getting paid that much money, when you're in a market
and that
like
pressure
Seattle,
value too, though. But the pressure aside, like, I mean, that was a great point. People go to New York, they go to the Bronx, and they can't handle it. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Aaron Judge is carrying that crown beautifully. He absolutely is. There's no understating that. And again, if Cal was on a different team in a bigger market, or he was on the Yankees, like, it might be a different story. We don't know. Another semi hypothetical random situation that doesn't have to do with what we're talking about. But again, if the MVP award is about value, and it's about value of a player to their team at that time, you have to look at who the Mariners are and who the Yankees are, and then see what the production is, what the value is of that player to that team at that time. Nothing else can matter. It has to be that. And then if you want to look back, I mean, if you want to really get crazy, if you want to look back to last season where Judge was the MVP, his numbers are down. This isn't even his best. If he wins MVP, it's not even his best MVP season because he was better last.
debatable. He won the batting title this year. This is the first time winning the batting title.
Won the batting title, that's for sure. Probably because of mostly his slugging, but his overall offensive numbers are a little down from last year, whereas Kyle Riley's much better. So you're talking about, again, value to a team. The Mariners did not walk into the season expecting Cal Raleigh to play how he is right now. But I guarantee you, the Yankees expected Aaron Judge to hit how he's hitting this season when the season started at the end of March. Guarantee you. That to me is immense value. So now we're talking expectation.
One less hit than
Or
last year, more runs than last year. Yeah, he did more home runs, more RBIs. God Almighty, these numbers are crazy. It is
I don't
actually
know. I mean, the man is insane. There's
it
a,
is ridiculous.
insane, and if he's an MVP, yeah, he deserves it.
He does. He should be. Give it to my boy. All right. One last thing before I get out of here. Get my daughter to softball practice.
I have to put that in there.
Yeah, I got to. I got. Hey, I'm gonna slide them in whenever I can. Um, who wins the World Series?
Oh man, I don't know. I would love, and this is gonna sound like I'm on a Mariners bandwagon, but I would actually love to see a Mariners Brewers World Series.
MLB would hate to see that.
They would hate it. Wouldn't they hate it? Wouldn't it be awful for them? They would be so mad. I would be, look, y'all
That is the worst case scenario for the MLB.
look, not worse than when the D-backs went,
That's
because it's crazy.
yeah.
That was wild. But I think that would be a super fun series. I don't know. I think if you want to talk about fatigue, I would not like to see the Dodgers. I would love to see Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts, but not necessarily the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Um, just because it's like y'all always winning.
Always.
Which
So,
again, when you I like good baseball. I love good baseball, but I'm like, dang, could we get some new faces in there? And that's why I feel like the Mariners and Brewers would be so exciting to me. I definitely think that the general population would hate it because they just kind of want some of that familiarity. Like, okay, who are these big names? I don't think I have a winner right now, though. I don't think I can. I don't think I can pick. I
feet to
don't.
the fire right now. Two teams. NL, Who you got? You got to pick.
Hold on. Hold on.
You knew I was going to ask you this.
I did, and I wrote it in my notes somewhere. Man, let me find it because I had some thoughts about this, but I kept walking away from it because I really don't know. I really don't know. I'm
Dude says Phillies Mariners would be a bar fight. I would love it.
Phillies. Now the Phillies don't
That'd be
mess with me.
nice. I would love the
That.
home field advantage of both teams.
Oh yeah,
That'd be crazy.
yeah. Mm, I don't know. I think maybe subconsciously I want the Mariners in there. Um,
Just hate the Yankees, man. But that means they'll beat Detroit or the Guardians if y'all beat the Guardians. Just putting that out there. Dang.
I'll put my comments about you know.
Okay. All right.
I'll put comments about Detroit time in the postseason.
Okay.
But I don't know. Phillies Mariners would be good. I would love to see the Brewers in it. I would love to see the Mariners in it.
That's
So
that's your pick. That's who you want. You want Brewers Mariners. That's
I guess I'm gonna stick with it. But
that's fine. And as long as they're in the race, that's a possibility.
and that is very true. Who you got?
I got a rematch. Yankees Dodgers. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you putting the Yankees in there because you really believe in them, or
No, I'm
because
putting it.
you're
No. Real shit. We're hot at the right time. And
okay?
I'm glad we didn't win the division, so we don't have that week off.
Really? Okay,
Yeah. And if you notice, that week off ruins teams.
that is true.
So like I'm glad that we kept winning and the Blue Jays kept winning. So we'll be yeah. I
I
think
was
we can whoop Boston.
the reason why I was so stressed out about the Tigers was because I feel like we needed that week off. We needed that bye.
Yeah, the way the season ended, y'all do need a week off.
We definitely needed that week off. Y'all need to
Yeah.
y'all homes, go meditate. Like y'all need some time. But yeah, I guess if you're hot, yeah, you don't want to cool off.
Yeah,
That's
keep
true.
rolling.
I get hurt a lot too, so I don't know. Y'all might need to.
No, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. We good. We'll be good. Just chill. Don't put that on us. Don't put that on us. All right, all right. We finna wrap this up.
Seeing the Dodgers in the World Series, like you
Say
would
that
not,
again.
you wouldn't mind seeing the Dodgers in the World Series.
Nah, I wouldn't. I want to see Otani pitch in the World Series.
Don't face the Yankees. You wouldn't mind seeing them.
Nah, I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing him. As long as Aaron Boone don't put in like Luis Hill to close game one, we'll be okay. You know what? Well, I'm gonna have to have you on for another episode because I need a venting session about Aaron Boone. Um,
Oh man.
yeah,
Oh,
it's yeah. If you think I don't like AJ Hinch, wait till I talk about Aaron Boone. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up. Ryan, let everybody know where they can find you, where you post your stuff, all the good stuff. Let them know.
y'all can find me on TikTok, Ryan for GM. That's RIANN, the number four GM. You can find me on Instagram, Ryan Forprez, RIANN, the number four PREZ. And yeah, y'all need my Twitter.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
in,
All right, just those two.
just
Don't
in,
need no Twitter. Um,
I don't be on Facebook, so sorry.
it's all good. Um, hopefully we'll have you back on. Then you can wear your black executive sweater so you let everybody know what's next for you. That's right. I do my research. I do my peeping. You know
I
what I'm
love
saying?
that. Love that.
Yeah. My boy Deuce just followed you. Make sure you check him out. He got great content too.
Got you.
Yep, yep. And y'all know me, man. Talking game. Wednesday we'll have our episode. We break down last week of football. Saturday, two off of SmackDown WWE podcast, which so much WWE shit going on. Gonna have to have you back on. Probably with like some other people. Probably do some other people. We'll have like a big baseball episode, throughout the playoffs at some point, and we'll figure some stuff out, man. It's been fun, you
It's
know.
class, yeah.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna make that happen. So yeah, like any YouTuber or streamer, like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good shit. Send it to a friend, send it to a cousin, and y'all keep rocking with us, man. It's been Talking Game. Peace.
Peace.